Hi everyone, I'm Sonia and we are at Doubell Yoga Studio in London with the gorgeous Leila Sadeghee. So Leila, thank you so much. I will just start by saying I'm totally spaced, so if this interview doesn't feel really articulate, it's because of her. We just had the most amazing body rolling, but for 3 hours, and it feels like you've had the deepest massage. So just think of the deepest massage you've ever had. That for 3 hours. I mean, seriously, I want to go home, melt, drink water, go to bed. It feels amazing.
That's good.
How did you get into that?
Oh, well, I met Yamuna Zaik. I met the woman who created it, and Yamuna is this extraordinary healer. She was a yoga teacher at the age of 12 or 14. She was teaching yoga in public. So this is in the late 60s. She was teaching as a pre-adolescent. I mean, extraordinary life path. She just found yoga really early, and she's really quite an extraordinary healer. Anyway, she came to, she had a big injury and she developed a work then out of that moment in her life that would help people to free all of their joints, create space in all of their joints, lengthen all of their muscles. And the work that she developed works the entire body in every session, and that's called Body Logic.
That takes 3 hours?
No.
Oh, okay.
So that's the work that she developed
Right.
in the late 70s, early 80s in New York City. And then I came to meet her in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
And it was a complete accidental thing. I didn't want to be a body worker. As a matter of fact, I kind of thought of it as a stepping stone to get back to the art world.
There are no accidents.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Precisely. So I met her and she mentored me and taught me how to do the body logic work and taught me how to, and I became a teacher of the body rolling work.
This was in 2001. And prior to that, what were you doing?
Oh, I was working in the art world.
Okay.
I was living in London and lived in Berlin and in Basel for a bit, and just very keen on making a name for myself in the contemporary art world.
So nothing to do with the body art that you do now?
Oh, no. I mean, there's some semblance of my life mission that I see was present even at that time and kind of what I wanted to put forward, but I was very inarticulate in that time.
I think however we come to yoga, because there's so many of us from different backgrounds, I think it's all meant to be. It's the tapestry of our lives. And it all is meant, whatever you learned in the art world, whatever creative energy, you laced together, it was meant to be drawn into your work now. It's meant. So you don't just do the body rolling, you went into teaching yoga, into actual deep healing work.
Yeah.
So that's what you do now.
Yeah, I mean, I have a very multifaceted practice at the moment. I teach yoga in London. I teach the public classes. I teach workshops and trainings in the yoga.
Yeah.
And then I also still have a bodywork practice. It's not as big. It's because I'm busy doing other things. I do the hands-on bodywork, and I also do these body rolling workshops at least once a month.
Okay. And do you find, because today when I felt suddenly very spaced out and I gazed across the whole class and everybody looked spaced out. It was like we'd all been, smoking and we were stoned. But literally, it was really gorgeous. Do you find that, people receive this really well?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really, it's very powerful healing work. I mean, it's just Yamuna really figured some very important things out, I think, about the body and about how to very swiftly and very effectively create space so that you can heal.
Yeah. Can you talk a bit about what it is, the different balls that we used in the class and how you weight down the bone?
Yes. Okay. So the work is based on a few different principles. One of the main principles that Yamuna came up with in her healing work is that if you stimulate the bone, that the bone will set off a very deep release in the body, and that you can release all the tissues away from the bone, and that will be a more kind of lasting and more powerful kind of way to decompress the body. She also figured out that if you work systematically through different chains of muscles, through different sort of bony connections, instead of just sort of going to places that hurt, for example, that if you kind of follow the chains of muscles in the body, that you are going to be able to create off like an even deeper release. So everything that we do in the class is really sort of systematic. We sort of work from here to here to here. And even the kind of sequence of what we do is kind of designed to support us in a deeper release. The bone stimulation is something that nobody else does. I mean, it just isn't.
No, I mean, you do it in yin yoga where you know, offer traction and weight down into the bones, so you come into a good place and then you settle in and then you take time. So you do have a bit of that, and there's so much research on the power of that. I feel this, you know, my passion is, I'm passionate about acupressure. So, you know, if you look at what we did today, we were just working the lines, the meridian lines all day long. We started at the roots of the feet and we started to work, and you could just feel everything beginning to wake up. It was amazing. But when I stood on K1, that's kidney 1, right at the base of your foot. Oh my God. It was like I really needed it. I just needed that little ball. And it was so releasing. And then you worked all the way through the body. And I think that's you know, Chinese medicine is absolutely exquisite. It is one of the oldest, most powerful mediums for healing the body, and they take the holistic. You tell them you have a stomach ache and they'll be working on your legs, and you'll think it's crazy, but it's because everything's so related. And the work with the ball is really amazing to open up all the meridian channels and just restore wellness. And I think people felt like, hi, it was so good. And I mean, I think it's amazing. So when I decided to come to this, I'd seen a lot about it, but it's just growing, isn't it? It's getting more and more popular, this ball rolling. You literally, for those of you who are still lost and don't know what I'm talking about, you take a ball, different size balls, and you literally rolling them over your body, over your bones, weighting down. And as you do, you feel the release. You feel the release. It's like somebody giving you the deepest tissue massage, but right to the bone. It's stunning. So I always say that it makes the foam roller kind of look like it kind of puts the foam roller shape. I do love the foam roller.
Foam roller.
But it does. I mean, the foam.
It has angles. You see that the body has angles, so the ball gets into the angles a different way.
Exactly.
The other thing I was mentioning in the workshop is that I've come to the conclusion for myself that there's something about the different, the balls are filled with air, and they're of different sizes, and I think that there's something about the kind of the air, the way that the particular thickness of these balls, because they've been very kind of tested different thicknesses and all these kinds of things, to kind of get the things that are just right to get these certain kinds of releases that we're looking for with the bone stimulation, the release of the tissue away from the bone. That there's something about the fact that our body is leaning into air, and there's something similar.
There's a buoyancy about it, and I totally get that. There's also that part where you sort of wave breathe, you know, when you breathe in and you back out, and then you can sink back down into it. And it almost becomes, I imagine once you do this for a long time, it becomes like a sort of an internal dance that you're kind of working with this ball and just flowing to release the whole thing. You get lost, it's a little trance-like. I mean, if you added music, we'd have all been gone.
Oh no, you can't add, I mean, you could, I'm sure I could do a lot of things. Often I have to really struggle to keep it, especially with a group of people who are doing it for the first time. Like you can go, I mean, when you come to these things, you go to ones where it's all practitioners, it's amazing, you know, because everyone knows what they're doing, and we can all kind of really sync up. But with the group that have never done it before, it's like hanging, I have to really use my skills to, I'm just holding everybody really clear, super clear. So that they get that really maximum result. No, you were great. It was amazing. I wanted to talk about this immersion that's coming up. So you're doing an immersion in February, and that is 4 days for 4 weekends. And it's the first 100 hours that can go towards a teacher training, right? So it does go towards that, but you don't have to want to be a yoga teacher in any way to do this. It's a standalone course. It's a deepening of your own personal practice and experience, right? So would you talk a bit about this? Because I know you've got some amazing people. You've got the chef coming. I've got we have a wonderful chef who comes from the United States, and she is a holistic and healing food chef. She's worked with people from all walks of life, and she really knows how to help people transform their relationship to food, to start to treat their practice of eating and their practice of cooking as their yogic sadhana, as their practice, you know. So, and not in a way that's like sort of really super solemn or anything, just very down to the ground, like how do we make our food choices? How do we prepare food in a way that holds some intention? How do we know what kinds of foods are right for us and what things we want to eschew and at what times of the year? Last year we even took everyone to the farmers market in Marylebone, and we went through the different foods that are on offer, just specifically locally here to London. And really, it's an immersion in how to refine and enhance our lives with the different practices of yoga and healing. Yeah. So we do some of the body rolling work, and certainly the perspective that I take on the body, influenced both by strong background in Anusara, but also many years of practicing, Yamuna Zake's work, the Yamuna body rolling, and the body logic, to really help people to inhabit their bodies differently, recognize how they can use their yoga practice in a way to open their particular body. One of the issues is we go to a yoga class and then we're getting this general instruction from most people. There's no such person, No. So many of these people go to open classes and then there's
skeletal variation. Everybody, we all different. It's not the same as we see in the anatomy class, because we get taught that. We think that we're all that skeleton in the anatomy class, and we're really not.
No, nothing like that. Yeah. So to really get people to be able to go in and listen and feel, so that they can start to understand, oh, okay, my body has a tendency to do this, so then I'm going to hold in this way and create a space in this way. Yeah. We go through all of this in great detail, and I think the most interesting thing we do in this is really how to bring it off the mat into every aspect of life.
I love it. It's so important.
All the mudra, daily meditation practice, like how do we construct those practices for ourselves? How do we make it consistent? Yeah. This is like a vessel for that. It's a vessel for you to say, okay, actually I want to open, I want to upshift my life, and I want to let these practices sink just a little bit deeper.
I think it's so important that we understand is that why do we do yoga? Why do we do yoga? We don't just all come to a mat so we can do a great trikonasana. It's not what we're doing. What are we doing? And to truly understand what it is we're trying to do is we're trying to come home. We're all just trying to come home. What does it truly feel like to live in this body at this time, with this spirit, with this life, and really live the best life we have? And yoga is a tool. It is a way. It's a way that when everything is going crazy in the city, and we have all this media stuff around us, it's the way to really go, okay, I'm going to be still. I'm going to come home and I'm going to listen to what the true me, the truth beyond the truth wants to achieve in this life. Yeah. And so it's really, I think, probably the greatest journey you will ever take,
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. I just completely concur. Yeah. And that's precisely what it is that we begin to unpeel that. But I think what's great is that there's that time, we have 16 days. Yeah. These immersive weekends, 4-day weekends, so that we have time and we have a set group of people who kind of come together again and again. And I think it's that vessel of that community, because even around a yoga center, this center literally in Doubell means gathering, and it is wonderful, And then in every public center, there's always the fly-by-night aspect, that character of our busyness in our lives. Yes. It's hard to construct a kind of vessel that holds all of that. Yes. And then, we go on retreat, but then when we come back, we try and integrate it through challenges. Yeah. So now this is like, okay, when we're right here, we're sort of on retreat, but we're here together in this place. Mm-hmm. This is a place where we live, or we live not far from here. So this is a place where we can really, kind of stir the cauldron, make the transformation, do the healing work, and create a different paradigm for living.
And really just feel like you're part of a kula. A beautiful little yoga kula community, and coming together, and you'll probably make lifelong friends. People that are wanting to speak the same language.
That's certainly what all the people in the immersion so far have been saying. Yeah. So we've had a couple of years. We did one in Sweden. We did one in London last year.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Oh, Leila, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonia. It's so good to know you.
So you too. So if you want to get hold of Leila, you can go to her website, which is Leila Sadeghee, but I'm going to let Leila spell that, and I'm going to put it down in the description as well.
Okay.
LeilaSadeghee.com, so you can find out all about the immersion there.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
The immersion and also other body rolling work and different bits and pieces.
Yummy, gorgeous body rolling stuff. That's nectar. That was really.
Oh, I'm so glad you came.
So thank you so
Bless
much.
you. Bless you. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.